Alrighty then, welcome to the Battleship Simulator. Wait, no, definitely not battleships. This is rockets. Yep, this is a rocket simulator. Welcome back to it, by the way. This is episode 5 where we do Mun encounter, orbit, land, and then escape, then land back on Kerbin. Lengthy name. While you've been gone, I modified our lander here. Essentially, if I take that off. This is what we're going to be landing and returning to Kerbin with. We have a parachute for landing on Kerbin, separator, get rid of the engine and stuff like that after we get an aero brake encounter with Kerbin. But this is for landing and takeoff of the Mun. We might have to use unlimited fuel because I haven't tested that yet. But I'm pretty sure that should be sufficient enough. And then I added on a slightly larger fuel tank with a nuclear rocket because it's extremely efficient and literally burns forever. And we might even be able to use it. It might have enough efficiency and fuel to help us with the landing procedure. Then down here for the main thrusters and everything, I did a bit of asparagus staging, which is all 5 of these are going to fire at once. And the fuel from this right one is going to go into this one here while it's burning. So while all 5 are burning, only this outer one's going to lose any fuel. Then once that's out of fuel, we ditch it. Then all the fuel for these 3 rockets is coming from the 2 outside ones. Then once the 2 outside ones are done, we drop those. And then this center one still has full fuel to finish off the orbital maneuver. Use the nuclear engine to finish circularizing. And then this section here for landing and takeoff on the Mun, get into an encounter, and hopefully make it back. If not, then we suck. And you know what? And just in case we don't make it back, what I'm going to do... Well, actually, I can keep that on there like that. I'm going to add some RCS. Very small amount. I think 2 of these should be sufficient for emergency RCS maneuvers. I'm going to put 2 of these on there, and that will give us our forward and back very small thrust adjustment. It should, in all intents and purposes, get us back home safely. Yay! Alright, and what do you know? We zombified Jebediah, and he is alive again. So here we go. I'm going to launch with our asparagus staged, nuclear engined, little tiny engine lander, moon awesomeness thing. And just for funsies, I guess, we can have an antenna. We don't need to let's see how cold the moon is. Or Mun. We're going to have a thermometer on there just to see how cold the sumbitch is. And I only needed 1 and I put 2 on there. The antennas, I probably only want 1 too so it doesn't get in the way. There. That's our sciencey stuff. That's how we do science. We just stick it on there and hope it works. Alright. Here we go. Going to do science on the Mun with a thermometer and an antenna. We're wasting all this money to put a thermometer on the Mun. Probably could test the temperature with lasers and thermal stuff, but meh. Why not throw an entire thermometer up there to get exactly how very blistery cold it is there. So once again, we hit T to center off, hold shift, full throttle, and hit space so we release and go up at the same time. All 5 of those rockets are very strong. And as you can see, I even made room so I could do 6, but meh, whatever. See, I could put 2 there, same kind of way. But I really don't need to. It's alright. We're just going straight up. Uppity, uppity, up. We shouldn't hit our 200 meters per second limit on those 2 engines. And then we start to slow down on these ones because they're just barely enough to keep this thing going. The thrust to weight ratio is, I think, 0.9 when you first separate. But once it drains a little bit of the fuel, it starts going. But luckily, it's compounded thrust, so we didn't really lose too much in the terms of fighting the gravity and getting out of the atmosphere. But right now, I'm just trying to maintain us at 200 until we hit right about here. Then we full thrust and start our turn. I am going to have to do a little bit of a steeper turn than normal. I'm thinking right about here should be good to get us up in the sky high enough. Then once again, once we run out of fuel on this stage, boom, drop those. Make sure everything's nice and stable. Switch over here. Bam. And then keep an eye on that. Now since we did the turn, we're still getting that, but right now I am more concerned with us actually getting up into space. Because it's a heavy rocket, and up in space there's no air resistance, and slightly lower gravity. It's about 90% of normal gravity. So, yes, you still fall back to the planet, but luckily we're moving sideways enough where we're in permanent falling. But since there's no air resistance, we can increase our speed much easier once we're up there. The problem is getting up there with all this mass. Mass and volume equals air resistance, and air resistance equals windshield with faces, and air braking, and braking with air, something like that. And then we want to fly, but we can't fly because we just ran into a windshield, or we ran into drag, or wind. We ran into something that made us not fly. Yes. I have no idea what I just said for the last 2 minutes, and I apologize. And we'll bump this up to 90 since we are going to the Mun. We are just going to want to get up as high as possible, so bloop, 90. Let's warp on up there. Alright, at 70 you can actually switch to the faster warp. And right about there, drop. Gives us 2 seconds to line up, and then we thrust again. And we're out of fuel anyways. So I gotta do this quick. Kill that. Get rid of that. Boom. Thrust. And now we need to thrust up quite a bit here. I'm actually losing apoapsis. Considerably losing apoapsis. I don't know if this engine can do it, but I'm trying anyways. Come on. The problem with the nuclear engine is it's pretty weak, but as you can look at the fuel here, it doesn't use any. Well, it does, but at 0.69 every second, it's pretty much it doesn't use any friggin' fuel, which is good. We need that right now. I'm trying to get my apoapsis back over here, but it's not looking like it wants to. I'm trying to increase this velocity and everything all at the same time, and it's being a pain in the butt. Like an extreme pain in the proverbial butt. Let's go like this so I can measure out a little bit easier. Stop rotating like a retard. There, stay. Good boy. Now, as I said, we need to get up to 2,200 something meters per second to be able to maintain an orbit. We are at a nice, comfortable 1,500 meters a second right now, so this might take a while. It might take a while. But really, as long as we don't fall below 75,000 meters, we should be okay. Because if you fall below 75,000, then you're starting to hit atmosphere, and then this whole thing's negated because that nuclear engine cannot do anything in atmosphere at all. It's literally useless inside of an atmosphere. It just doesn't go anywhere, and I'm going to light a cigarette while we wait. Yes, I smoke, bad meat, blah blah blah. Don't care. Anyways, it looks like our apoapsis has actually caught up to us, or is about to, which is really good. That means we're just about to start going fast enough where fuel's dropping fast. But it looks like we're just about fast enough where we don't have to worry about, yep, no longer have to worry about vertical. We can worry solely on horizontal speed. Vertical meaning away from the planet, horizontal meaning with the planet. Just to clear things up, because there is no up, down, left, right, center with space. It's just, actually they do kind of have words for it, like normal, anti-normal, prograde, retrograde, and stuff like that. But we won't get into that because that would just confuse you all, so I'll just use cool terms like this side of the orbit, or the tiny side. Why? Because it's easier to teach that way. It looks like we got it. Alright, now, Mr. Munn. Where's Mr. Munn? He's over here. So we set him as target. We can get these ascending, descending nodes, whatever. We really don't need to pay attention to those for this thing. So, what you want to do is, right now we're facing that way. And we're going to time accelerate. Or as it says, time warp. We're going to time warp until the moon peaks its face around Kerbin, right there. That is the beautiful spot, right there. That is when you want to blast off and do your best to get your orbit out there. Here we go. Nice and slow. With our super efficient, but very, very, very slow engine. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough fuel to help us with the landing. But it's most certainly enough fuel to get us to the Mun, or close enough where I can finish off with our landing engine, which is much stronger, and we'll be carrying less mass anyways, so we will see. 14, 13. As you can see, the faster we go, the quicker our altitude increases off the planet. That's due to us getting away from the gravity. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's quite enough fuel. And we're out in that stage. Okay. That's okay, because we have another stage. Bam, right there. We're just gonna thrust up. Now it's gonna eat fuel a lot quicker, but it's enough thrust where we shouldn't have to worry too much about it. Get up there, get up there, get up there, and encounter. Look at that. So like I said, once Mr. Moon pokes his head around Kerbin, start blasting, and we will get an encounter. Now, I apologize if I go happy-go-lucky with the time warp, as I always do in this stage, because it takes forever to get out here. Like, I'm not kidding, it literally takes forever. Because right now, we're only traveling at 500 meters a second, 400 meters a second, because we're getting so far away from our host planet that the gravity's pulling us back and slowing us down, blah, 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 blah. Words and stuff that really don't matter. And there. Game freezes up a little bit as always at this point because I have Keythane, which I will be teaching you guys at a later time. Alright, so it looks like we're just going straight down, so actually straight down isn't that bad of an idea. Looks like we don't even have to circularize your orbit. You do it, it's pretty much the same as on there. 0.90, go, adjust, slow down, speed up, whatever you have to do to capture yourself. Now we're going pretty fast though. Like, pretty freaking fast. So I'm gonna stop here. We still got electric charge, yes, sweet. So we're gonna point, not down, up. We need to slow down quite a bit. And it looks like we're more than likely going to need to cheat to get back home. But as you know, I build these things on the fly. I built this one beforehand, but I didn't test it. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to cheat to be able to land or anything. Oh well. I'm not here to teach you how to build perfect rockets to do anything. I'm here to show you how to do it. So, there we go. What's our altitude? 75,000. So, I can go ahead and cut that and accelerate until we get closer. It's no big deal. Right about here. Should be good. I probably should have put more fuel with the nuclear thruster. That way we didn't have to do any maneuvering whatsoever with this thruster, but it's whatever. And we're just pointing retrograde, which is the one with the X in it, to slow down. That'll kill both lateral and vertical, but just for fun, I'm going to kill more lateral and less vertical, get it lined up. Now, it looks like we're dropping pretty much straight down. I'm going to do that until about 4,000, 5,000, and blast. Now, telling how much speed you need to lose and all that kind of stuff and how much thrust to use, that's really just experience. If we take it nice and slow. And this is small craft, so I'm not really worried about it. I mean, we got huge landing legs on it and whatnot. We need to slow down a little bit more. Let us come down. The bigger your craft, the harder it is to find the perfect, like, hover. Because, like, right here, I'm pretty much hovering. And I can adjust really easy. Then right there, I can cut it. Yay, we landed. Turn off SAS so it settles. Then we're going to let Jebediah get out. He's out. We don't really need a ladder on the moon. We can use this RCS pack. Plant a flag. Okay. Let's see here. There. I cheated, but I hope I still get my cupcakes. Owes me cupcakes. Or brains, since I'm undead. Yeah. Planted a flag. Now to get back in, like I said, you can just hit R to turn on his pack here. Shift to go up. We are fighting gravity, of course, but whatever. Boop doop, grab it. Board. And to go back home, at first what we're going to do is go straight up. Always go straight up. I'm going to use the orbit map. Go straight up until you got about 20 to 30,000. So I'm going to go nice 27, 29 apparently. So once we're there, we add a maneuver. Now we need to figure out, let's get some horizontal speed going. So I can, no, that's north and south. Horizontal, so 90. Let's get some of that going so I can tell where I'm going. Now we need to get rid of that. By right clicking it, get it like that. Then we put a maneuver there. Now, to go back, I always forget which one it is. So if we go, maneuver node doesn't want to be working right now. I don't know why. Okay. It just herp derped and did some herpy derps. This is always fun, guys. It's really fun. There we go. So if we go around that way and escape from the mun, looks like, yep, this is the one where we aero brake. Go faster and faster and faster. Remember, once that's below 30,000, or that. But for fuel saving, you want to just get below 30,000. So move it faster. That's 1,000. We'll call it 16. Good, whatever. I'm not worried about fuel, but just get it below 30,000 to save fuel. Or if you're really low on fuel, you can do that. So we're going to point in the direction it says first to point. And it says our estimated burn is going to be 45 seconds. So you want to half that on your node in T minus time. So half of it you want it in T minus, half of it you want in T plus. So half of 44 is 22. So at T minus 22 seconds we will, or I'll miss my opportunity, but you do half and half. Half before and half after. Because the maneuver node is expecting you to be able to change your velocity immediately, but we both know that you can't change your velocity immediately anywhere in the universe. So you're pretty much just making a compromise with the maneuver node and going halfway over and halfway under when you were supposed to change your velocity. Camera change for some odd reason. Since we're blasting this way, we're going to end up going in the opposite direction the Mun is going with our escape. Okay. And then that brings us back into Kerbin for some reason. Okay. Let me look at what we got. By removing the node. Looks like we're just gonna plummet toward us. So we went too fast. So let's show the ideal. Whoa. I said the ideal. Ugh. Whatever, I'll just keep my mouse over it and thrust until we're down to 30. And right about there. That's the ideal. You take off, you head at 90 until you get an escape, then you keep thrusting until that goes below 30,000, then you can aero brake and do all that fun stuff. So now, we're going to come out here, we have to lose the engine, boom. I wish I could lose the landing legs, but that's a different story. And our parachute apparently deployed without me telling it to. Whatever. So here we go. See, we're going too fast to stay with the Mun. We're going. We'll go faster now. And faster. And there we go. And the game should just bring me down on its own. We also had RCS just in case we needed to do the maneuvers, but I cheated anyways. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not here to show you that I can do it or how to build the rocket to do it. I'm showing you how to do the maneuvers so you can do it. How you design your rocket and pack enough fuel to get there is all up to you. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's heard all these spiels. The cool thing is we have landing legs this time. And I'll turn off SAS so it kind of wobbles in the natural state. Boom, that goes out. Now we really start to slow down. Alright. Looks like we're in some mountainous area, so I'm going to actually remember this time to come out of 4 times physical acceleration in time so we don't rip apart. So at about 5,000 I think we'll be okay. 6, 5, come down to 2. Should be able to handle a 2. Looking for our shadow. Your shadow is the best indicator of how far you are from the ground, but I don't see my shadow yet. Oh, there's our shadow. That's how close we are to the ground. Boom, full deploy. Now we can do the 4 times acceleration, and we are back on Kerbin from the Mun on our tiny little lander that had nothing. You know what? I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you guys the temperature. Well, the temperature here is, I'm assuming Celsius, so, oops. It's about 15, 14 degrees Celsius. And it fell over like that because we're in time warp and, yeah, physics doesn't work. But here's a cool trick. If you need to flip your pod back over because you didn't land right or it rolled over, what you can do is go like that. If it's small enough and you have enough torque, it'll go like that. If not, you have to use the legs to kind of catapult yourself around and whatnot. See how it kind of shoots you? There you go. We landed. Hooray! Alright guys, next time I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on asparagus staging, how to actually calculate how much fuel you need to go somewhere, and we'll also look into encounters with other places like Minmus and doing it and that sort of thing. Leave comments in here if you have any ideas on tutorials or any questions you may have that I can explain in future videos. Until then, I'll see you guys later.